Mr. Greenspan.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Germana.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher is absent this evening. Mr. Schron. Mr. Schron is absent at the moment. Ms. Conwell. Ms. Conwell is absent this evening. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Brown.
Here.
Mr. Hairston.
Here.
And Council President Brady.
Here. And could I have a motion to excuse Councilman Gallagher and Conwell?
So move.
It's moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. The members are excused. Pledge of Allegiance.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under the fourth item, silent meditation, Councilman Miller has a recommendation this evening.
Mr. President, in light of the tragic event in Baltimore, I ask that we pray and reflect on the need for peace, goodwill, and cooperation to return to that city, and that we all redouble our efforts to solve problems through peaceful means, and in particular that we all work to find ways to protect public safety through highly skilled law enforcement to effectively diffuse dangerous situations, avoid excessive use of force, and ensure that all safety forces have the ability and training to perform with the utmost of skill and restraint. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Miller. Any other public comment related to the agenda?
Yes, we have several, Mr. President. First up would be Reverend Pamela Pinckney Betts.
Good evening once again. For Resolution 2015-0080, in your efforts to pursue these endeavors with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for loan guarantee assistance under Section 108 of the Housing Community Development Act of 1974, I ask you, as you review these matters and bring them to your table, I ask that you would also review their processes for inspections and giving quality of life residential assistance to people, because it's still not where it should be. And some things are being passed that should not be being passed. And everything hidden ultimately gets revealed, and it does get exposed. And we don't want to continue to operate in tragedy. We need to be in a season now of triumph. And I ask you to call to carpet and look at their books a little bit further and call some people in that make up these components who put together this housing and development, and collaborate and do some comparison and contrast nationwide, not just county to county, but nationwide, to see what is really going on, because there's still some things that are not adding up, and there's still more incarceration versus housing and some other concerns. And then also for our Resolution 2015-0084, this speaks in reference to temporary assistance to needy families for the Summer Youth Employment Program. I'm grateful and I'm blessed that you are giving the children, the young people, something to do that shows that work, because the word says that if you don't work, you don't eat. So yes, we must work. But I want them to understand also that it's just not a matter of just working to serve money, because money is to serve us, but all of us have needs, and we need to be looking at what we're allocating our money to these children for, when they do work, what they're earning their money for. Because some things have gone to an extreme, and these computers and some of these other things, children don't even have to read anymore. All they have to do is push a button. They don't have to count anymore. They just push a button, and they're getting bored, and they're And even though they go to work and they may push the clock or sit there for 8 hours or 6 hours or whatever we give them, there's still some components that needed to be added to this process. And I ask you to look further, look deeper, and go a little bit more so that, yes, the word says that every generation becomes weaker and wiser, but we don't want to rest on that. We want to give them some other options, and we want you to come to the church and see what we have available to you. You're welcome to come to our pastors' meetings on Tuesdays as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Butts. And next.
Next speaker is Mr. Puri.
Good evening. The subject of my comments is fair funding for the arts in Cuyahoga County. While I don't smoke, I love the arts and the role they play in enriching our lives on a daily basis. As a volunteer teacher for the past 10 years, I have integrated the arts in the teaching of science, math, and engineering. I oppose your resolution for renewing the sin tax on cigarette smokers to pay for arts and culture in Cuyahoga County. Sin taxes are regressive taxes that take a higher percentage of income from our poorest and most vulnerable citizens. Instead of proposing a fair funding for the arts where we all pay, the subject resolution continues to exploit the weak and powerless in our society, demonstrating an absence of enlightened leadership in our county. Now, artists are known for portraying social injustice in their works. I hope they will speak against the continuing exploitation of the weak and powerless, an exploitation which unfortunately benefits their community with financial grants. The public is barraged with sanitized acknowledgments. For example, a performance on Brahms, Beethoven, and Mozart brought to you by Cuyahoga Arts and Culture and not by the cigarette smokers of Cuyahoga County. There was active opposition to the regressive sin tax that passed in May 2014, a year ago, with demonstrations all over Cleveland and beyond. I will actively oppose the 2015 sin tax with my vote no on sin tax signs. Love the arts, but not the use of regressive taxes to support them. We should stop exploiting the weak and powerless in our society. This is a social justice issue. It's a sin, Cuyahoga, to fund the arts on just the backs of smokers. Tax all or tax none. Vote no on sin tax in 2015. I'm submitting a document for the record. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Mr. Edwards.
Hey, good evening. I too oppose the tax on the cigarettes. I feel that as a black man in Cuyahoga County, we are still being left out as contractors and tradesmen, which I've been representing for quite a while. And we have the same business as usual that I've seen on the construction sites and still on the job sites at Metro Hospital. I see they're getting ready to do work over there. So they want to tax us for the facilities in Cuyahoga County, and they still don't want us to work on them as contractors and as tradespeople. They want the front and the pass-through companies, the same companies. I was telling somebody, we've had two developers, Dan Gilbert, who's done the right thing with black contractors and tradesmen, and you had Brock Milstein. Two developers that are in the past 13 years that have done the right things with black and minority contractors and tradesmen. We should not be taxed and then be denied the opportunity to work on the job. We will not be taxed. I will lobby, I will pay, I will be out there campaigning, TV and radio, unless we have inclusion. Inclusion, we have to be counted. This is the next Baltimore, city of Cleveland and Cuyahoga County. Blacks are being misused. I've talked to Vice President Pernell Jones before about a PLA and the inclusion. And we still cannot get it through. Jeff Applebaum, who's on every construction owner's rep project, and as his law firm, Thompson Hine, representing the county, and we're still excluded. They don't want black apprentices on the jobs. I can work with the governor in Columbus and get things done, a white Republican governor, and I can't get nothing done in my backyard to get black people, real black contractors that can put up a bond, that have black men that work for them and women. They still refuse to let them. They had the groundbreaking out there on Public Square about a month ago. County gave money, city gave money, not one black worker. This has to change. We're right back where we were with the county corruption. It's still ongoing. It's still, nothing's changed. We demand inclusion. We have to be a part of if you're taking my money and you're telling me to abide by rules, include our people, and I'm not looking for a job. I don't want a job. Employ these young black men and women and minority black men and women. You owe that. This council owes that. Cuyahoga County owes that to the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you, Council President Brady, members of the County Council, County Executive Budish. My name is Joe Gibbons, and I'm here this evening in my capacity as President of the Board of Trustees of Cuyahoga Arts and Culture. On behalf of my board colleagues, Matt Charbonneau, Sari Feldman, Steve Minter, and Eliza Wings, here to thank you for considering our request, and that is that you submit the renewal of the excise tax specifically dedicated to arts and culture to the electors at the November 3rd general election. Cuyahoga Arts and Culture, the public agency charged with administering those tax funds, has created grant funds that serve all county residents. We have worked hard to deliver on the promise that was made when the tax was originally approved in November of 2006, and we take the stewardship of these funds very seriously. The over 300 organizations that we have funded provide important educational opportunities for students, help employers attract and retain talented workers, and improve the overall quality of life for the residents of Cuyahoga County. We know that you agree that arts and culture organizations and artists are important assets for our community. Thank you for considering this important issue. We look forward to the forthcoming public debate and stand ready to address any questions that you have in the coming months.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Mr. Bidwell.
Good evening, Council President Brady, and thank you for allowing me this moment to speak in support of an important issue, the renewal of the Cuyahoga County's public funding for arts and culture. My support of Cuyahoga County's arts and culture levy has been shaped by several roles I've had in this community. First, I built and ran a successful marketing business around the talents of creative people. This has showed me the immense value of attracting and retaining a creative workforce in this region. Secondly, I currently serve on an FDA advisory board on tobacco regulatory science, which has shown me the immense cost of smoking and the huge societal benefits of public policies that reduce smoking. And price on cigarettes is the #1 deterrent of smoking for young people. As a donor, board member, and leader of major arts institutions in Cleveland, I've seen close up the challenges of our arts and culture organizations face to raise stable operating funds. And finally, in the vibrant Hingetown area of Ohio City, my wife and I have invested in arts as a catalyst for neighborhood growth by opening the Transformer Station, a free contemporary art space. What I've learned in these 4 roles has led me recently to take on a 5th role as co-chair of the Arts and Culture Action Committee, supporting the renewal of the Arts and Culture levy. The question before you is whether that levy has worked, and I think the answer to that question is unequivocally yes. The Arts and Culture levy has provided critical operating and project support to hundreds of organizations throughout Cuyahoga County through competitive grants totaling more than $125 million since 2007. The Arts and Culture Levy enhances education programs throughout Cuyahoga County. In 2013 alone, organizations receiving public funds provided 1.4 million experiences for children and over 18,000 annual field trips. And by strengthening our arts and culture sector, this levy has helped to continue to build Cleveland and Cuyahoga County's world-class image and reputation. The success of the Arts and Culture Levy can't be overstated. The proceeds from the levy have renewed the strength and energy of our arts and culture sector, and with it, our region. If the levy does not pass, there will be an automatic 30 cents a pack price cut on cigarettes. That will be a health and wellness crisis, as well as a huge blow to that vibrant arts and culture sector. I hope you'll consider the benefit of all that we've seen from this levy since it was originally passed in 2006, and give the voters of Cuyahoga County the chance to continue crucial support by approving a renewal of the Arts and Culture Levy on the November ballot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have anybody left?
Yes, one more speaker, Mayor. I apologize for saying your name. I'm sure it's wrong. Mayor Kachi.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. President, Council, Mr. Executive, Mayor Kochi from Bedford. I want to encourage you to support the levy. The economic impact of the arts attracts residents and tourists. They attract a well-educated workforce. The arts enhance property values of the surrounding businesses. They increase the tax base of a region, and they beautify and enhance the cultural identity of cities. A report by the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis shows that the arts and culture sector represents a 4.32% of the GDP, the gross domestic product. It's higher than tourism, which is at 2.6, transportation at 2.7, and construction at 3.4, making the arts a significant contributor to the economy. Arts mean money. Arts build communities. Arts are a destination. Arts mean jobs. Please support the levy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, if there are no other public comments, I'd like to move to item 6, the approval of the minutes. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes as listed on the agenda. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Minutes are approved as listed on the agenda. I have no announcements. Is there a message from the county executive?
Thank you. Today was the groundbreaking for the Metro Health Brecksville Health Center, and I just think it's important that we all recognize how important it is that our county hospital is expanding to provide its services to residents throughout the county, which is a critical piece. I had the opportunity to speak at the White House Conference on Aging Regional Forum this week. At that time, I had a chance to talk about the importance of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid to our county's residents. And I spoke with the national president of the AARP, who attended here in Cleveland, and Kathleen Falk, who's the regional director of the U.S. Health and Human Services Department, about the programs that we're doing here in Cuyahoga County to help our seniors. And it was a nice opportunity to extend that message and also to have her hear it. Finally, today was the Cleveland Neighborhood Progress First Annual Vibrant City Awards luncheon. I spoke about our demolition program, which all of you made happen. The program I explained is helping to revitalize our neighborhoods throughout the county, and it was great to hear some of the great things that are going on in our neighborhoods from our partners who are community development organizations throughout the county. There's a lot of real good things happening, even apart from what we're doing as a county. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Executive. Item number 9, legislation introduced by council, consideration of a resolution of council for first reading and referral to committee. Clerk, would you please read the item into the record?
Resolution number 2015-0076, a resolution determining to submit to the electors the question of renewing the excise tax on the sale of cigarettes for the purpose of funding arts and cultural facilities and programs in the county, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This will be referred to the Committee of the Whole, scheduled for the 12th of May at 3 p.m. Consideration of ordinances of council for third reading adoption.
Ordinance number 2015-0004, an ordinance establishing the process by which county officers or employees serving on public bodies may designate alternates to serve in their stead, and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second. Discussion.
Mr. President, this ordinance was introduced by Council President Brady and recommended by the Council Operations and Intergovernmental Relations Committee. Some of the county's boards and commissions have set procedures for designating alternates to serve in the absence of a member, either by charter, ordinance, or the board or commission's rule. This ordinance provides a general process for the appointment of alternates for use by those boards and commissions that do not have a set policy. It enables each member to designate an alternate to serve in his or her absence. Alternates must meet any residency, professional background, license, or county employment requirement imposed on the member that the alternate is replacing. Having a general policy on alternates will facilitate workflow and prevent misunderstandings, and I recommend approval.
Any other further discussion, questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The item is adopted. The ordinance is adopted. Clerk?
Ordinance number 2015-0005, an ordinance enacting section 206.12 of the Cuyahoga County Code to specify the county's representation on the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission, and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
Sure, Mr. President, if I can. This ordinance embraces the ORC's statement and interpretation that gives the taxing authority to determine the composition of the planning commission and who's represented there for county employees. So in this case, this just simply reflects that and clarifies any question about the authority of the council to determine the representation on the county planning commission.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The ordinance is adopted.
Ordinance number 2015-0006, an ordinance enacting the Border Control Consolidation Act and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President, this ordinance was introduced by Council President Brady and recommended by the Council Operations and Intergovernmental Relations Committee. The ordinance consolidates the Board of Control and the Contracts and Purchasing Board into a single board, maintaining the name and structure of the Board of Control. This ordinance will simplify the procurement approval process, saving time and money. In particular, some contracts currently require approval for the procurement process in the Contracts and Purchasing Board and approval of the contract itself in the Board of Control. This ordinance will enable the same board to handle both processes. There are historical reasons why the two boards developed separately, but experiences has shown their operations to be very similar, ensuring that the combined board will operate smoothly and effectively. I recommend approval.
Further discussion?
Mr. President, I just want to say thank you for introducing this and presenting this with this sufficient opportunity to work better.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it, the ordinance is adopted. Legislation introduced by the executive, consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules. Any discussion? All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2015-0077, a resolution amending the 2014-2015 biennial operating budget for 2015 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts, and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
I move to
to adopt.
approve. Okay, moved and seconded. Discussion. Councilman Greenspan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an amendment to the legislation. I move to amend Resolution 2015-0077 by deleting items F and G in Section 1. The purpose for the motion is, as my colleagues are aware, we solicit questions from council to submit to the administration. Items F and G, those items and the answers from the administration are still pending. And as soon as we receive the information from Public Works, then we'll put it on the next agenda if the information is received in time.
I'll second the motion to amend. Is there any other discussion on the motion to amend? All those in favor of amending, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the motion is amended. And now we'll have if there's no other discussion, we'll have a voice vote on the resolution on its merits. All those in favor say aye as amended.
Aye.
All those opposed, resolution is adopted as amended.
Resolution number 2015-0078, a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 18S, representing approximately 20 employees and 15 classifications at the Department of Public Works for the period May 1, 2015 through April 30, 2018, directing that funds necessary to implement the collective bargaining agreement be budgeted and appropriated, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? We did all hear this in executive session. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor of the resolution say aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0079, a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and Communications Workers of America, Local 4340, representing approximately 71 employees in various classifications in clerical services at the Sheriff's Department for the period January 1, 2015 through December 31, 2017, directing that funds necessary to implement the collective bargaining agreement be budgeted and appropriated, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Again, has been moved and seconded. We did discuss this at length in the executive committee meeting preceding this general meeting. All those in favor of the resolution say aye.
Mr. Chairman, if
Yes,
I may,
Councilman.
we know that this bargaining unit doesn't have 71 employees, it's roughly 61.
That's right.
Is there an amendment needed to, for this just clerical correction?
I don't believe so. No, it is could we have you can make that change without an amendment? It's a clerical error. Okay, Councilman? All right, so that's 61, not 71, correct? All right. All those in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0080, a resolution authorizing various documents in connection with the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development contract for loan guarantee assistance under Section 108 of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended, 42 U.S.C. Section 5308, in the aggregate principal amount of $325,000, authorizing the Director of Development to execute all documents consistent with this resolution and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt. Second. All right, discussion. Could we have, yes, Mr. Keller.
Good afternoon, Council. Bottom line up front is your approval will allow us to save the county about $38,000 by refinancing what are our HUD 108 loans. A HUD 108 loan is when the county borrows against future federal proceeds from our community development block grant allocation. In 2004, we borrowed about $1.1 million. The balance on that loan is about $325,000. We're currently paying 5%. We can refinance it to about 0.3%. Doing so will not change the term or conditions of the loan, just allows us to pay the balance over the remaining 5 years at about 5% less.
I understand we have a deadline of May 9th.
Yes, sir. While we anticipate bringing other refinancing opportunities on some of our legacy debt to you over the next couple of weeks, this is the only one that has to be done before a May 5th deadline, which is why we're asking for approval on first reading.
Questions by the committee?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman.
that savings, how much is it in dollars and where does it go?
It is precisely $37,910. That'll be $37,910 that we're not spending on debt service from the Department of Development's budget.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2015-0081, a resolution authorizing an Economic Development Fund Small Business Growth Loan in the amount not to exceed $905,000 to 3550 West Market Street for assistance to purchase property located at 9200 Noble Park Drive, Brecksville, authorizing the Director of Development to execute all documents consistent with said loan and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This will be referred to Economic Development.
Resolution number 2015-0082, a resolution authorizing an agreement with State of Ohio Office of the Auditor in the amount not to exceed $533,000 for an annual audit for calendar year 2014 for the period February 5, 2015 through September 30, 2015, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This will be referred to Finance and Budgeting Committee.
Resolution number 2015-0083, a resolution authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with the Metro Health System in the amount not to exceed $3 for lease of space at William Patrick Day Services Center located at 2421 Community College Avenue, Cleveland, for the Cuyahoga County Women, Infant, and Children's Program for the period July 1, 2015 through June 30, 2018, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
So we'll go to Public Works.
Resolution number 2015-0084, a resolution making an award on requisition number 32996 to Youth Opportunities Unlimited in the amount not to exceed $4,486,119 for the temporary assistance to needy families summer youth employment program for the period May 1, 2015 through October 31, 2015, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This will go to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2015-0085, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1300-322 with Catholic Charities Corporation for pre-employment screening services for Ohio Works First applicants for the period July 1, 2013 through June 30, 2015, to extend the time period to June 30, 2016, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $517,100, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2015-0086, a resolution authorizing amendments to contracts with various providers for emergency assistance services for the period September 1, 2012 through April 30, 2015, to extend the time period to April 30, 2018, and for additional funds, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendments and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the contracts, the providers, and in the amounts not to exceed as printed on the agenda.
Health and Human Services.
And resolution number 2015-0087, a resolution authorizing a contract with Emerald Development and Economic Network Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $10,653,076 for administration of the Shelter Plus Care tenant-based rental assistance program in connection with the Homeless Emergency Assistance and Rapid Transition to Housing Act for the period May 1, 2015 through April 30, 2016, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
And this will also go to Health and Human Services Committee. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading.
Resolution number 2015-0072, a resolution authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with the Arc of Greater Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $3 for lease of space at William Patrick Day Services Center located at 2421 Community College Avenue, Cleveland, for the period July 1, 2015 through June 30, 2018, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This item will move to the May 12th council agenda for third reading.
Resolution number 2015-0073, a resolution authorizing amendments to various revenue-generating agreements with Educational Service Center of Cuyahoga County for lease of space at various Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities Centers for operation of Help Me Grow programs for the period September 15, 2013 through September 14, 2015, to extend the time period to September 14, 2016, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $2, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendments and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the centers as printed on the agenda.
This item will also move to the May 12th council agenda for third reading. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to suspend the rules. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the rules have been suspended.
Resolution number 2015-0057, a resolution confirming the county executive's appointment of W. Christopher Murray II upon his taking the oath of office as treasurer of Cuyahoga County, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt. Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion about this confirmation? All right. All those in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Congratulations.
Chris, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I W. Christopher Murray,
W. Christopher Murray,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
uphold, and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and laws of the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio,
and the Charter and laws of the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
diligently,
diligently,
and impartially
and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
all of the powers
all of the powers
and duties
duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as County Treasurer
as County Treasurer
in and for the County of Cuyahoga,
in and for the County of Cuyahoga,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Resolution number 2015-0058, a resolution confirming the county executive's appointment of Dennis G. Kennedy upon his taking the oath of office as fiscal officer of Cuyahoga County and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
And moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the resolution is adopted. Congratulations, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay, Dennis, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Dennis G. Kennedy,
I, Dennis G. Kennedy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
uphold, and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and laws
and the Charter and
of
laws
the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio.
of the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio,
That I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
diligently,
diligently,
and impartially
and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
all of the powers and duties
all of the powers and duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as fiscal officer
as fiscal officer
in and for
in and for
the County of Cuyahoga,
County of Cuyahoga,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2015-0059, a resolution confirming the county executive's appointment of Mark D. Griffin upon his taking the oath of office as Inspector General of Cuyahoga County and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt. Second. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Congratulations, Mr. Dever.
Griffin.
We've got so many, we're doing so many appointments tonight, I've lost my place. I recognize you, Mr. Griffin.
All right, please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Mark D. Griffin,
I, Mark T. Griffin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
uphold,
uphold,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and laws
and the Charter and laws
of the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio.
of the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio,
That I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
diligently,
diligently,
and impartially
and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
all of the powers and duties
all of the powers and duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as Inspector General
as Inspector General
in and for the County of Cuyahoga,
in and for the County of Cuyahoga,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Resolution number 2015-0060, a resolution confirming the county executive's appointment of Michael W. Dever upon his taking the oath of office as Cuyahoga County Director of Public Works and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Mr. Dever.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Michael W. Dever,
I, Michael W. Dever,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
uphold,
and
defend
defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and laws
and the Charter and laws
of the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio.
and the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio,
That I will faithfully,
honestly,
diligently, and impartially perform and discharge all of the powers and duties
perform all the powers and duties
incumbent upon me
as
Director of Public Works
Director of Public Works
in and for the County
in and for the County
of Cuyahoga,
of Cuyahoga,
State of Ohio,
according to the best of my ability
and understanding, so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2015-0066, a resolution confirming the county executive's appointment of Robert J. Triazzi upon his taking the oath of office as Cuyahoga County Director of Law and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to approve. Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion about this appointment? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. We have a new law director, Mr. Triazzi.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Robert J. Triazzi,
I, Robert J. Triazzi,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
uphold,
and defend
defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and laws
and the Charter and laws
of the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio.
of the County of Cuyahoga County, Ohio.
That I will faithfully,
honestly,
diligently, and impartially perform and discharge all of the powers and duties
incumbent upon me
as Director of Law
in and for
the County of Cuyahoga, State of Ohio, according to the best of my ability and understanding, so help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Executive, I think you've got yourself a cabinet.
Getting there. Thank you all.
Yes.
Resolution number
Would
2015.
you hold on for just a second? I'm
Yes, sir.
sorry. Councilman Jermaine would like to make a comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've had the opportunity in the last month or so to talk to a lot of community groups. And I didn't want to say this individually, but in these 5 appointments, I was very, very impressed, as all council, with the performance. So I congratulate Armin Budish for recommending these people, but I'm excited because we've got great people with great experience filling these positions. So congratulations to all 5 people.
Clerk.
Resolution number 2015-0067, a resolution making an award on requisition number 32725 to the C.A. Agresta Construction Company in the amount not to exceed $1,084,063.15 for resurfacing Biddulph Road from the Cleveland West Corporation line to Pearl Road in the city of Cleveland, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $7.50 license tax funds in said amount to fund said contract, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Adopt.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion, Mr. Germana?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This contract was reviewed in Public Works, and we recommend passage.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0068, a resolution making an award on requisition number 33138 to DeGoria Suburban Excavating in the amount not to exceed $8,209,055.10 for the grade separation of Stearns Road at the Norfolk Southern Railroad in Olmsted Township, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $5 license tax funds in the amount of $1,641,811.02 to fund said contract, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Adopt.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, this was heard in Public Works, and we recommend confirmation or adoption.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0069, a resolution making an award on requisition number 33145 to Carvo Paving Company in the amount not to exceed $1,811,511.18 for resurfacing Emery Road from Northfield Road to Marigold Avenue in the city of Warrensville Heights and Village of North Randall, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $5 license tax funds in the amount of $362,302.24 to fund said contract, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion?
Chairman, this as well has been heard in the Public Works Committee, and we recommend adoption.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0071, a resolution authorizing the county executive to accept dedication of land for Shady Elm Lane in Shady Reserve Subdivision, Phase 1, located in Olmsted Township, as a public street, 60 feet total, with established setback lines, rights-of-way, and easements, authorizing the county executive to accept dedication of land on the southerly side of Shady Road, plus 10 additional feet, 35 feet total, to public use in Shady Reserve Subdivision Phase 1, authorizing the county executive to accept dedication of easements for construction, maintenance, and operation of public facilities and appurtenances in Shady Reserve Subdivision Phase 1 to public use granted to the county of Cuyahoga and its corporate successors, authorizing the county executive to execute the final plat in connection with said dedications, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Adopt.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion?
This also was heard in committee. It's not the biggest, largest road, but we need to approve this, so committee moves for approval.
Any other further discussion?
Mr. Chair, The Planning Commission serves as the commission for Olmsted Township, and we at the Planning Commission were able to sit through testimony about this particular project and easement, and the residents had input into this, so I just recommend the council approve.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0074, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1400-085 with the East End Neighborhood House Association for neighborhood collaborative services for the Family to Family Neighborhood System of Care Program for the period May 1, 2014 through April 30, 2015, to extend the time period to March 31, 2017, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $640,928.
Move to adopt.
Authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Mr. President, the East End is a neighborhood collaborative for the family-to-family system of care program that provides a number of services to residents within the community during their time of need, and I ask for approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0075, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1300-126 with Emerald Development and Economic Network Incorporated for rapid rehousing services for the Emergency Solutions Grant Program for the period October 1, 2012 through December 31, 2015, for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $563,617, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Seconded. Discussion.
Mr. President, this program provides housing, location services, and rapid rehousing financial assistance to help homeless individuals with permanent housing solutions. And again, I ask for this council's approval.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of a resolution for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2015-0063, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1400-215 with AmeriCab Transportation Incorporated for transportation services for the period September 1, 2014 through August 31, 2016, for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $4,400,000, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Adopt.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Mr. President, this contract provides non-emergency transportation to and from medical facilities for Medicaid-eligible clients who are receiving dialysis, chemotherapy, radiation, and methadone treatments. And again, I ask for your approval.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, can you add my name, please?
His name? Any others?
And
All those
my
in favor?
name is already a part.
Okay. Jones and Hairston. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of an ordinance for third reading adoption.
Ordinance number 2014-0031, an ordinance amending the county's debarment law to clarify that the period of debarment under Chapter 505 of the Cuyahoga County Code commences from the date of issuance of the debarment, and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
Adopt.
Second.
Mr. Chair, this ordinance clarifies the debarment board's discretion to determine the debarment period of contractors, and goes on to specifically cite the rights of the contractor and provide some due process, at least specifies what that is.
Any further discussion? Mr. Miller?
This ordinance was sponsored by Councilperson Simon and recommended by the Operations and Intergovernmental Relations Committee. It updates and clarifies the county's debarment ordinance with three main provisions. One clarifies that debarments begin from the date of the Inspector General's issuance of debarment. Two gives the debarment board discretion to modify the end date of any debarment, provided that no debarment lasts more than 5 years. And 3, specifies procedures for submitting evidence to the Debarment Review Board. In my opinion, this ordinance significantly enhances the fairness, consistency, and flexibility of our debarment law. I commend Ms. Simon for a lot of hard work on this ordinance and strongly recommend approval.
Comments?
I certainly support this legislation. And I'd just like to make a comment that we heard earlier today, a reference to front companies and pass-through companies. I think it's good for the public to know that this debarment legislation has language that allows to allow for the barring of companies that are front companies than those shadowy associated companies. It certainly is an illegal activity, and it's one that our Inspector General has through this debarment legislation, the tool to bar these type of companies. So it's good for the public to know that if they simply call to our Inspector General's office anonymously, they can make what they know share with the Inspector General's office, and it can be investigated. And certainly we want to catch anyone who is involved in this type of activity.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. The ordinance is adopted. Miscellaneous committee reports. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance and Budgeting Committee will meet on Monday, May 4th at our 1 p.m. time to discuss the item referred to committee this evening, as well as to review the final report.
All right.
Mr. President, the Council Operations and Intergovernmental Relations Committee will meet at our regular time slot on Tuesday, May the 5th at 3 p.m. to discuss things like ballot issues and the county's lobbying and things of that nature.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, Public Works will meet on a regular time Wednesday, May 6th at 10 o'clock.
Okay. Any other miscellaneous reports, committee reports?
Mr. President, the Health and Human Services Committee will meet in 8 days, which will be Wednesday at 1 p.m. to deal with the items referred to committee today.
That's the 6th?
The 6th, yes.
All righty. Anybody else? All right. Hearing none. Any miscellaneous business?
Thank you, Mr. President. So I just wanted to say that I had the opportunity to attend the RTA banquet award last week, and I'm proud to say that Cuyahoga County was presented with a Business Partner of the Year award. And just if everybody recalls, Council passed legislation which enabled employees to receive a subsidy for obtaining an RTA pass. And this was, I think, put forth by Council President Connolly, but what this has resulted in is a 100% increase in the number of RTA riders. It's amazing. So it's just about, I'll give you these numbers. February 2014, there were 227 pass holders. May of 15, it will be 445. That's extraordinary that we're able to provide that ability of the employees to use RTA. It's also good for our sustainability initiatives because it's less reliance on fossil fuels, and there's other simple things we can do, and our Department of Sustainability will be working to identify what other simple measures we can take to save a lot of resources. So thanks to Council and President Connolly, this is working really well.
Councilwoman, any other comments? Councilman Miller first. Yes.
Mr. President and my colleagues, I would just like to bring to everybody's attention that the month of May is Multiple Chemical Sensitivity Awareness Month. It has been so designated in Cuyahoga County and is generally observed quite commonly across the country. And this is the time of year when more people start spending more time outside and are more exposed to environmental chemicals and toxins of various kinds, and so it's a good time to remember that that some people are particularly susceptible to the chemicals in our environment, and it creates serious debilitating effects, and that to a lesser degree that chemical irritants affect all of us. So we should just be aware of it. Thank you.
Other miscellaneous?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Germain.
I had the pleasure of attending the NAMI annual meeting this week, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And I'm happy to report that the NAMI organization of Greater Cleveland won a national award as the outstanding local organization in the country.
Wow.
And the Green Ribbon is for awareness during the month of May for mental illness. And so I'm proud to be wearing it.
Thank you, Councilman Germain. Any other comments? I'd like to acknowledge the fact that Judge Bert Griffin is in the audience, if he's still in the audience. There he is. The son of our new Inspector General. I mean, the father of our new Inspector General. Yeah. You know, you guys just look so much alike. Bert is semi-famous in many ways and a good friend of our former council president, C. Ellen Conley. So we're glad he's here. Glad to see him. Any public comment unrelated to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Puri.
Okay, good evening. This is my 9th opportunity to speak before you. The subject of my comments is 218-year-old public square destroyed. Welcome Jimmy Demora Square, a product of Cleveland's corrupt system. Both Jimmy Demora Square and Jimmy Demora Bridge are bogus projects emanating from a leadership disoriented with feelings of grandeur. The renovation of Public Square has been dubbed as a new paradigm by the plain dealer, the biggest cheerleader for the project. Why am I opposing this so-called masterpiece in urban park design? I love parks. Our house on the west side faces Jefferson Park. My late wife and I are from New York City. We live near Flushing Meadows Corona Park, site of 2 World's Fairs. I have walked up and down, left and right, across New York Central Park over 800 acres and got lost a number of times. I've lectured extensively on the bridges of Central Park. Always wanted to get married in Central Park, but that never happened. With this background, why all the rattle against a 10-acre park in downtown Cleveland? Since August of 2014, there have been over 330 hours of demonstrations, which is the equivalent of walking nearly 1,000 miles carrying a sign in one hand. Why? Because I believe in an urban environment, green spaces and traffic go together. Now, this is coming from someone who does not have a car, nor knows how to drive, a very common trait among New Yorkers. Now, New York Central Park is the best example that I know of the harmonious mix of green spaces and traffic. Central Park is not one big park, but 5 smaller zones that are linked together for the most part by bridges, and the traffic moves for the most part in submerged roads called bathtubs in an east-west direction, and on the surface in the north-south direction. So the traffic coexists with green spaces. Now we are told here in Cleveland, if you take Public Square with 2 major arteries and block one artery, Ontario Street, block it completely, and narrow the other one, Superior Avenue, and now reroute the traffic, all of a sudden, we'll have a new model in urban park design, a transformation that along with other projects will usher in a renaissance for Cleveland, a city with a 37% poverty rate. Really? Well, welcome Jimmy Demora Square, to be continued. I'm submitting a document for the record. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments?
No, Mr. President.
Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. This meeting of the Cuyahoga County Council for April 28th is adjourned. Thank you.